So good morning, folks. Melvin Hunter Jr., Western Regional Forester, and a lot of what I do a lot of what I do has to do with this picture here. Putting out wildland fires is what got me hooked in this job, and later on it became hazardous fuels, and then forestry, and then now looking at the disciplines. But in that's a picture of suppression there with the large air tanker. But as I got into hazardous fuels reduction, it's the science that got me interested in the job I do today. So as an Indian Affairs employee, I do have a trust responsibility, and that's on behalf of the federal government to Indian country and the tribes. And if you look there in that mission statement, midway there, um, act, conduct staff activities related to the management and protection of timberland and woodland forest resources on the Indian reservations and allotments in Western Regional area. So there's a picture there on the right of Western Region. So there's Nevada in the northwest, and the central northeast, there's the state of Utah, and the southern part is Arizona. In those polygons there in mid-screen, you can see a Truxton Canyon Agency. So that would be the Wallapai tribe, and that's where I'm from. And just that northeast corner, I'm not sure if you're tracking the screen here, but that would be the Havasupai tribe, and they've had an impact recently, so that's where they are. If you look at the acreage wise, if we jump up to the northeast corner of the state of Utah, or the northeast corner of that entire delineated area, that's Uinta Ore Reservation. So within Western region, statistics say that there's 13 agencies, 54 tribes, over 12 million reservation acres, and forested 3.4 million. And the difference in Indian Affairs, by our Indian Affairs manuals, we classify the forest by two types. Timber would be, well, timber over 1 million acres, and then woodland would be more of your pinyon, juniper, and riparian areas. And that stat is showing 2.4 million acres. So a lot of land in Indian country, a lot of timbered acres, and then pretty robust locality within three different states. So they all vary. And what's most important about that, each tribe has its own tradition and culture that we're always respectful about in how we approach those tribes and what their interest is. So we really work with the tribes to bring us the objectives on how to do management. So the programs we offer, forest management, inventory, and planning. What's out there? What do we have? What species? What's that forest health look like? And what is its current state? And through our forest inventory analysis, how should we manage to sustain that forest in the future? And we have a timber program. Um, Three of those tribes, actually four tribes, the big four, what we call them, is Wallapai, Uinta Ore, White Mountain Apache, and San Carlos Apache tribe. Those are our timbered programs in the West, or woodland cover types. The picture to your left there, there's Havasupai, and there's a project there of woodland acres. You can see the mixture in the background there. That's really an ecotone there into our ponderosa. But that's really a pinyon nut orchard there that's being developed. Um, Bottom left photo, you can see a sage fire from 2016. That's a reforest acre project there. Um, and Going into the forest development, not a lot of stand improvement in those photos, but though that takes place pretty often. Prescribed burning, where we prescribe burn annually. Greenhouse, grow up the seedling for that reforested acre and start implementation. And then there's woodland management, forest health protection, hazardous fuels reduction, and wildland fire management. So the title, going back to forestry, fire, fuels, and reforestation, it really takes every one of these disciplines to see the big picture of what we do. And with that, the number of individuals needed to operate those programs. So it is a pretty robust program per tribe or even per agency. So the greenhouse just recently, excuse me, Western region, we did a tour. We visited Colorado River Indian Tribe, which the photo, I believe, is that top right there. But that is really along the Colorado River near Parker, Arizona. And for that tribe, they mostly grow riparian species. Went to Northern Arizona University, the greenhouse research. That's that middle photo there. Some of those tribes are Wallapai, San Carlos, White Mountain, Western Regional staff, GIS, and then NAU folks. But I mentioned that just really on the network and what we're doing. So we're looking at an elevation of uh, I want to say Park is around 1,000 feet up to 7,000 feet, NAU, and then over to White Mountain Apache tribe, which you can see their seedlings there and a reforestation project there. I want to say that seedling in the top left corner, about 15 or 20 years old, so not pretty dry and not a lot of growth there. And that's just really that sheath there is just to protect it from wind, and then try to focus some of the water or any precip, typically monsoon, to focus towards the roots of that Pondo. Bottom right is a greenhouse that's being developed. That picture was taken probably 2 years ago. Not a big greenhouse, but it's a start. When we look back at the footprints of these tribal acres, that tribe specifically is about 54,000 acres, and their reforestation projects are not large. Probably the most recent was Compartment 3 Wildland fire, stand replacing it. The fire crowned through a reforested project in the 70s. So that gave a pretty good idea of spacing and setting the next spec to grow, and maybe even an entry of thinning to prevent that in the future. Prevent stand replacing. But that's one greenhouse in San Carlos. There is conversation and some development taking place there. But for every footprint impact, infestation, wildland fire, reforestation is the next process. It just goes back to looking at the top photo there. There's a couple shelves in the center there that are completely missing and that could use some seedling. So through this, networking is pretty important. I was encouraged as a former tribal employee was, working tribe to tribe, working with that tribe to get a contract in place for future projects, receiving funding from Indians Affairs and using it in that manner. So there's a lot of networking that takes place. And we know that collaboratively, whether it's university, whether it's interagency, Fed to Fed, Fed to tribe, county to tribe, state to tribe. There's a lot of diversity there, but I'm a huge component and encourager of moving tribes towards self-sustainability. In conclusion, you know, as the Indian Affairs mission says, is that we enhance the quality of life, protect trust assets, and provide opportunity. And just reflecting back at the start of the short presentation here was I showed the programs available through the region, through the agency to the tribe. We are in the era of self-determination. So it's even more important for me and for tribes to really understand and grasp that the next era, it's unknown, but there's opportunity there. And probably the best part of that opportunity, as you as an individual tribe, you know what's culturally significant to you. You know what your tradition holds, and you want to maintain your values, and you can do it by managing your own forest. And it's not from the top down. Since 1975, it's in the self-determination. We're fully here to support you. So, reforestation, pretty important. We heard in earlier guest speakers that there are challenges out there that we're aware of, and we just do our best to continue moving forward. Um, and I think if there's one take home in here for Indian country and probably every forest out there, just the statistics say there's plenty of opportunity. So all in there. Any questions?